a minute and 44 seconds ago. We're waiting on Jeff.
We didn't start it then. We started it like 4 seconds ago.
All right.
Ooh, burn.
Mental's wrong as always.
So,
not always. Yeah,
sometimes.
Moments.
Pretty much. Welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture. It doesn't matter what kind of La Champ or Lucky Track dog you run, SCCA, NASA, Rally America, ASA, or whatever, we won't discriminate. We even think you Drefto Hellflush peeps are, right? As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, as well as news and notes in the world of low-dollar endurance racing. And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet but terrible, or we're lucky enough that Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you're going to giggle a little and learn even less. Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental.
And we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming to listen. And to another, I have two here. Ditch hooking. That's for you, Santiago. And a terbium episode of our podcast. It's episode 70. You want to know what a terbium is? A terbium. It is the soft metallic element of a rare earth group that occurs especially when other rare earth elements and minerals that have whatever. Yeah. It's a rock. I got a rock.
It's a rock, people.
Rocks are cool.
I got a rock. Okay. If you are not driving, get your bingo card out. I think we might have hit 1 or 2 already, so hopefully you do well in bingo. This new and improved bingo card, it seems to be getting us bingo, which is awesome because before we weren't getting bingo. And there's a new updated version in your show notes. Let's move on to what you're working on, Jeff.
Are we not going to explain ditch hooking?
Oh,
I thought we could hand it to the guest to explain what ditch hooking is.
Santiago, please tell us what ditch hooking is, besides it sounding like it is a dirty word.
Urban Dictionary. Yeah.
It can be really dirty, especially if you can block.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, you just cut the corner, stick the tire in the ditch, and it helps you get more lateral force and get more G's.
There you go, ditch hooking.
What's kind of like what we do at the Devil's Tail at New Jersey, the long sweeper left before you come set up for the straight. If you put your left front tire onto the curbing, there's a little lip there, and it sucks you down, and you will get a couple miles more cornering speed out of that corner by hooking your left wheel in the curb.
I learned something. Cool.
All right, we're done.
Nice.
All right, that's it. Yeah.
All right, are we on to what we're working on? I'll start.
Sorry.
So what we're working on, I was Cub Scout camping. We were just coming off the Martin Luther King Day 3-day weekend. So every year we go Cub Scout camping, and here in New Jersey on Martin Luther King Day, it went to single digits. It was like 8 degrees. That's like Nebraska cold. So we had our day of service, so I had to go to work. And I was annoyed all weekend because the serpentine belt on the mighty Mazda 3 long roof was making the most faintest of squeak.
Really?
And it was driving me nuts. It was like, you just barely hear it. Really? So I got a new belt.
Jeff, I'm going to leave you stranded on the side of the road.
Exactly. It's
coming.
So nothing.
You don't know when, though.
Pretty much, I am now knocking on wood. Nothing really has gone wrong in the Mazda 3 in 150,000 miles. So I said a little bit of preventative maintenance, although completely off-brand for me, might be worth it.
Yeah.
So I bought the belt.
That is so weird.
I bought the idler.
And it's in the trunk of the car right now, waiting for it to break on the side of the road.
I watched a video on how to do it. And it was like, I could do this in like 10 freaking minutes. It's like loosen, pull the belt. It's like right on top. And I opened my engine. I was like, that's not the same motor I looked at. Mine is way down there.
Oh,
and I need to pull the wheel off, and I need to pull the interior of the splash guard off. And it was 9 degrees. And I said, F this. I'm going in the house and hanging out with my family instead.
AAA, will be called when the belt goes, and then you will say, crap, now I have to do it.
It's not belt slip. It's definitely the idler making a little bit of squeak. Mental, what you got?
How's the Avalanche? Because I have a hunch that next week is I've been driving the Avalanche to work.
And filling it up every single day.
It
Twice.
doesn't close. I mean,
And 9 degrees is perfect for that.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Who needs
that's
that?
what I'm working on. Chris, what you got?
That's exciting.
I've been working on the basement workshop. It's basically finished.
Woo!
Mostly made of just junk I had around. I think the only thing I bought was 1 2x4. That was it. Everything else was just stuff here. And then moved a bunch of shelves around and reorganized. And like we have space now. It's amazing. So and it's well lit. It's great. Nice to have. I was also on the Garage Heroes and Trading podcast.
Well lit is an understatement.
Uh-huh. Good.
There are,
like
planes
third
that
grade theater?
land. There's planes that land at our
In the
house every day.
basement.
We tell
Yeah.
them, "I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place," and then go away.
It's fine for minor surgery. Or also for
Engine building.
engine building, as long as the engine isn't too heavy and we can carry it up the basement stairs. And also for
Do you
taking...
like how this is we?
Yeah.
Who is this we?
Do you really want to go do any of these things? And taking pictures of things to put on eBay, which is the other thing I've been doing this week. I took a bunch of crap around that I've been saving, saying, well, this has some value. I should put this on eBay someday. And that was like 4 years ago. So now I've actually got stuff up and I've sold several things that were no longer useful to me. But hey, if I get 10 or 20 bucks out of them, all right, cool. So I did that.
Cool.
Good karma too. That's just good karma. Sharing parts, man.
It's not like I don't want to throw it away. Like it's like the clock from the Civic. That's kind of hard to find for some things, right? So that's gone now, for example. And
Was it
Garage
the
Heroes.
roof rack of the all-wheel drive Civic, like some sort of majorly needed part?
Oh yeah,
Or
I
was
think
it
I
the
sold that
speaker
for
pods, the rear speaker
those two.
pod?
I sold the speakers for like $150. The speaker pods. I sold the roof rack for about $200. This is back of the Waggle Van days. This one doesn't have quite as many.
Because there's only
things,
2
but-
available.
Right, exactly. And they all rusted away long ago. So lastly, I was on the Garage Heroes and Trading podcast last night. I did not go the 3 hours Mental went. I only went 2 hours and 15 minutes. So tune in for a not as entertaining as Mental's episode, but perhaps slightly
And
more
shorter.
informative. So, yeah. That's that. And watched some football games this past weekend, which were very good football games, and I'm pleased with the outcome of at least one of them.
You're 20% of this podcast that agrees.
Chrissy's kind of half on board.
I'm on board. We're going to the Super Bowl.
No, we went last year, Chris.
Yeah.
My secondary team is going to the Super Bowl.
Mental,
we're gonna-
what you working on?
And
Get
we're
us
gonna have a party, and we're the only people that are gonna go because nobody's coming to our
This
party.
This is not a stick and ball podcast. Mental, get us back to cars, please.
No.
Oh.
So we actually cleared out an entire room of the house. So we've got one room down, only 4 more, a 2-car garage, and a whole other stack of crap to go before we get this house emptied. I've got a marksmanship this weekend, and they fussed at me for burning pod, but one of my former students is having his Eagle Scout Court of Honor this weekend, and I was invited because I wrote one of his recommendation letters. So I'm actually kind of humbled by that one. That one's really cool. And tomorrow night, the local hipster bike garage is having a everything you always wanted to know about motorcycles, but were embarrassed to ask thing. So I'm going to go to that because it's free beer.
How do it work?
And-
I turn the handlebars one way and the bike goes the other.
Whatever you do, don't fall off.
Okay, as a
And
new almost motorcycle owner, I
Oh,
would
yours is
totally
not a
go to that.
motorcycle.
It sort of is. I don't know which one is the start button.
You don't have one. You have a CT70. The start button
No,
is the
no, no.
lever
It
on the
has a
right-hand side by your
Yeah,
foot.
it has a start button.
No,
it has
it's
an
your
electric
right,
start.
It's
Well,
your
then
right
it's-
leg. I've got
No, that's the way I've started it, but one of those is a start button.
Just push them all until it does something.
Yeah, I know.
But that's what this brother Moto, and you can find them online. It's actually a pretty cool place and a good coffee shop and a shared space garage. But that's what they're having is okay, if I turn the handlebars, no, you actually steer it with your weight, and here's how, kind of a deal. And this goes back to my, I just jumped on a bike and started riding. And so I've built these pockets of knowledge, and I said that my goal for 2019 is to start foundation, go for the basics. So I'm going for the basics. I'm going to ride my bike there because Vicky could care less about going, but
So after
I'm
you
going to learn the
were a
basics.
motorcycle superstar immediately after getting on it, did you then wrestle a bear and
Yeah, I had
carry
a
your
wrecked
balls home in a wheelbarrow because they're too heavy?
I had a wrecked 250 Ninja in my dining room of my first apartment for a year that disagrees with that superstar statement. But yeah,
Okay.
I love our new Ninja 250. We had such a good time.
oh, I love that bike, but I made a classic noob mistake, and if I had gone to an actual riding class, I wouldn't have made it.
All right.
Yeah.
Driver training. I think we've talked about that before.
Maybe.
Chrissy, you by far have the most exciting news of all of us.
I guess. I had a low-key weekend. We watched a lot of football. That was awesome.
No, I'm going to do the Chrissy. It's Girl Scout cookie time!
I'm glad you're excited about it because I'm so over it.
So excited.
I am not excited about it. We're only a week, not even a week in. Crap. So I have like 2 more months to go. It's a lot, and I'm not even doing most of the work. My co-leader is, but it's still I'm doing cookie booths, asking. We're trying to see which kid can do the best puppy dog face because they're 11 and 12-year-olds, and nobody wants to buy cookies from 11 and 12-year-olds because they're just zitty and snotty
Not cute
and
enough
Yes.
anymore.
they're not
Yes.
cute. So we just sit there.
A 7-year-old is like, oh, I'm buying those cookies.
Oh yeah. Well, we
12-year-old is like, if I talk to this person, I'm a creeper.
kind of. But you're not allowed to. You can't stand there and talk to anybody anyway. Saturday we sold 192 boxes. So
What? Yeah,
that
you go.
happened. But I'm over it. Yes, mental.
Find the girl that's having the hardest time selling the cookies and sign me up for 2 boxes of tagalongs, please.
2. We don't sell tagalongs, and 2 boxes is not going to get anybody anywhere.
Yeah, that doesn't even register.
Whoa.
If you said 2
what-
cases,
Way
I'll
to
send
try
them
to be
you, but-
helpful, mental.
What's
Nope.
what's the peanut butter ones? What are they calling them now?
Well,
there's
I'm not
2.
getting into
It's a
this.
long
There's
story.
it is. There's 2 bakers.
Okay.
We have one's a tagalong. The other one is a peanut butter patty. Which, Jeff,
Okay.
you can consume peanut butter patties this weekend if you'd like, because I'm bringing a case of everything to the race. So, and then I've been doing a lot of cooking, just because we were traveling and out and a lot of fast food and stuff. So, yeah, doing cooking. That's what I'm doing. Okay, let's get on to our fun part of our show. By now, you've heard of our guest, great listener, racer, and tonight's subject matter expert, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, Santiago Daniel Iglesias. Santiago, what you working on?
I am in Atlanta, Michigan, getting ready for the Snowdrift Rally.
How cold is it there?
The second best of Atlanta's, I'm just going to say.
Right.
It's only 23 here.
Oh,
Oh, that's warm.
it's like 23 here.
Balmy.
Freezing rain all the way from Detroit, though.
Nice.
Well,
Yikes.
So, yeah, loaded the car up, drove up here, unloaded the car, got to swap tires tomorrow. Discovered the windshield wiper isn't working, so I'm getting some overnighted.
Excellent.
Hopefully that works.
is it the motor or the actual just wipers or smearing?
It's the motor.
Ooh.
If you push them, it'll kind of go sometimes.
Oh, Chris can tell you all about
I
that.
was gonna
Yeah.
say, Chris loves
Don't
wiper
put
motors.
your thumb in the linkage. Just trust me. You'll
Unless
then
you wanna go to the
experience the local emergency room. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Santiago, so I did some Facebook watch,
So
Twittery stalking. So I know that you are a performance rallyist. Why don't you tell everyone what your race car is that you brought, and more importantly, what did you drag it with?
We do love this tow pig. We love your tow pig.
GM Tow Pig Life. My race car is a 2013 Subaru BRZ. Built up for rally from a crashed car. Unfortunately, not by me. I bought this one already done.
That's okay. Like that's
Good
That's a
idea.
good, yeah,
that's
good.
the
Yeah.
cheaper
Nothing wrong
way
with
to
that.
go. Right.
It's got nice beefy suspension, and the most recent mod I did that really opened it up was I went from a stock 510 rear end or 410 to a 529. So theoretically, it'll top out at about 110, 115. Rips pretty well.
All right.
And
Goes 6 speed.
yeah, is first gear still useful, or is it like?
Yeah, sometimes.
When you're pulling a boat up a ramp, sure, that's fine.
He's got to idle around in pits or whatever their equivalent to the pits are. I'm sure they've got a speed limit.
Ish.
Just don't hit kids and dogs, and then
Yeah,
you're
pretty
okay.
much.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. And why don't you plug the race? It is the Snowdrift Rally.
Snowdrift National Rally. This year with a new organizing body. Since the other one kind of dissolved. So racing will actually start on Friday. There should be probably some live streams on the American Rally Association's Facebook page, and they'll have live timing on their app as well.
Hey, send us those links or text me those links if you think about it. We'll put that on our Facebook page as well.
Will do. I think I had some of them in the show notes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I dragged it up here with my 95 LT1 Buick Roadmaster.
Woo!
Yeah, long roof for life, baby.
Yeah.
I think that's on my bingo card. Hang on.
My bingo card too. It's
Perfect.
my
A showmaster?
GM Tow Pig's got to be in there someplace, baby.
It's not GM.
Oh, man.
It is.
Buick Roadmaster is most certainly GM.
Nope. GM is not in the bingo card, is what I was
Oh,
saying. I was not. Don't get all upset. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
It does come up a lot, though. It might as well be.
Absolutely.
So, question on the tow pig there. Up in Michigan, towing, any mods? I think you got like snow tires on it or anything, or you just hope for the best.
It's got some snow tires, not like super awesome ones, but it did good enough.
Yeah.
And then I've just got the normal wagon mods. If you scrounge through the B-body forums, there's heavier duty springs in the back, some air assist bags, and a hitch that was built out of a guy in his garage outside of Detroit. So
Nice.
I love
Pretty
this
well
car. I love it.
240,000 miles right now.
Excellent.
That's even better.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right. So we've heard about the tow pigs. We've met our guest this week. I guess it's time for news and notes.
I did have one more, actually.
One more.
Okay.
Throw it down.
I'm partway through a Lemons build.
Lemons Rally or Lemons Racing?
Lemons Racing.
Okay.
A friend of mine was going to junk an 03 Mazda 6 because it was drinking oil. So I got it from him basically for free, picked up a new motor out of a junkyard, and I've been in the process of swapping that.
Is that a
Once it's running, I'll get it caged.
3 liter?
It's 3 liter.
Okay. Cool.
So the thing to do is, I got a 09 Fusion V6.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it doesn't destroy
Been there, done that.
the rings anymore.
Excellent. Yep.
Oh.
Fantastic.
So
I
next
don't think
week,
anyone's run a
mental-
newer Mazda 6
Yeah.
in Lemon, so that'll be
No.
nice to see and see how that goes. Cool.
That means
Yeah.
you can't find anybody that has the same parts as you.
Oh,
other
they
than
litter Craigslist and junkyards though, so
Sure.
you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mazda 6 not that hard to
Especially
find.
in Michigan, they all rusted away, so they're all there. So, yeah.
There's a few holes in the body.
So
Figure
next,
out what I'll do.
As long as you can
Figure it
weld
out
to
later.
it.
That's just
Yeah.
Mazda. That's nothing wrong with that.
so he's
Awesome.
a Mazda guy. He's a Buick Roadmaster guy. So next week, when I'm suddenly replaced as the fourth host of the show, you guys will know what happened. But in news and notes, Tire Rack, and I was actually talking with Bill Strong when he mentioned this. Tire Rack has become the title sponsor for the new Champ Car series. And we're actually going to have Bill Strong, the Champ Car marketing director, on in a few weeks. I think it's pretty cool. Mike Chesnick, the CEO of Champ Car, said, we're very excited about working with Tire Rack and their experienced marketing and customer service teams, which have a history of great support to grassroots racers. Champ Car will also be giving out a free set of tires to a lucky person who attends the driver's meeting, and that's all going to come from the Tire Rack. And we'll have the link to that in our show notes. So you've got Yokohama supporting Lemons. You've got Tire Rack supporting Champ Car. So it looks like the tire manufacturers are really starting to figure out there's a lot of money in this 190 treadwear business, and I like it.
Well,
Yes,
they
200
figured that out a
treadwear
couple.
most of the time now.
Yeah,
Mental, but
they
you know,
figured
that's cool.
that out a couple years ago when they started relabeling everything, and everything was 200. And yeah, we know this was last year's 80, but you know it's 200 now. We changed it.
Yeah, it's different.
It's all about racing tires. When you go to the tire rack and you ask them for, the name is slipping me.
Oh, that was good. Our a all-season Sumitomo. we were there for one
he
lap.
was like, well, for what car? And you're like, that doesn't matter. And they're just like, and then you said something for racing.
I
and
need
they're
a
like,
car.
Wait. They're like,
Well, I said, I
That's what
was
they
said,
say.
we were there. I need a new tire for my race car. We race next weekend, so I figured I might as well get it here. Oh, what do you want? The 205 65R15 Sumitomo HTR4, whatever.
I think he actually got like looked up at you, was like, wait.
Like my dog looks at the television. Like, what?
That's what happened.
It's-
And he was
it's-
like, we're like, no, really, we just need that tire.
It's a Citroen. It's in there.
Yeah.
And he's
But
like,
the-
oh, okay.
But the whole idea is he can't sell you a tire unless he puts a car in the
No,
computer.
he can put a size in. Tire X cool like that, especially when you're there. They'll
Yeah,
find a
you
way
just
to
tell
sell
them,
it.
Yeah.
yes. You're
When
talking to the person.
When I used to order the boat tires, I would always put 73 Sea Sprite, and it was just like
You just throw
like
them
other.
off.
Sea Sprite.
All right,
Good.
well, let's keep going. So
Yes.
the Rolex Daytona 24 is this weekend. I know we're all going to be partying, so we're not going to really care. But testing starts tomorrow. Racing starts at 2:35 on Saturday. So endurance racing is just fun to keep track of, but we don't really care.
Or
And
5.
like I said, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything. Someone has something to say. Chrissy?
Okay, well, hold on a
Sorry.
second. So I'm bringing this up is because there is an all-female team this year. Heck yes. So there's an article on racer.com presented a good theory. Female team on the podium could mean open doors for more women in the sport, but poor performance reinforces stereotypes. So interesting idea. Good luck to them and everybody but them. They'll be in car 57 NSX GT3. Drivers are Jeff's Twitter buddy.
Actually,
Catherine.
she follows the show, not us.
Oh, all right. Well,
Not
Catherine
me.
Legge, maybe. Anna Beatrice, Simona Di Silvestro, and Christina Nielsen. And this is the first all-female lineup since 1994. Santiago, go ahead first.
I just wanted to say I went to college in Daytona Beach, and back then, student tickets for the 24 were $15.
Nice.
So
What?
it is definitely a bucket list item. There's nothing quite like going up to the wall at the end of the oval before the bus stop and just feeling the ground shaking from the cars coming by.
Jeff's been threatening to go.
Well, I keep going other places like Laguna Seca and things. So
Okay.
Yeah, one of
That's
these years.
Well, and if of anybody that can drive that NSX, it's Catherine. She's been running that IMSA NSX for a while. She knows how to wheel that car. I'm going to also echo Santiago's. If you want to go to the Rolex 24, and you do, and you want to go spend some time down there, those GRM tickets, I think they sell out in about 3 hours. But watch Grassroots Motorsports when they put those. And those tickets are the Willy Wonka golden tickets because you get into everything. It is amazing. And you know what?
You can just do that anyway.
Yeah. We should
About
go
2
down
a.m. You
and
can
do a
kind of wander
show.
wherever you want.
Yeah, pretty much. We should
I-
do a show from down there next year.
I think with the GRM tickets, you actually get to like hold JG's birds. I'm not sure. He's like,
Probably
get to
true.
go in and be like, "Hi, little green guy."
Well, and whether you want to or not, because JG's like, would you freaking hold him for a second while I do something?
Anyway, I want to mention that. Yeah, they do. I want to mention that I've been watching the Instagram, Twitter sphere stuff, and if you have not seen the Alex Zanardi doing driver changes video, or him doing a hot lap and he's talking about the lap as if he's training the rest, like it's like a training lap. He's saying, this is where you want to put your car and this is where you want to do this. And they have the camera looking right at his hand controls. It's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm. There was a motivational poster a couple of years ago with him standing on his prosthetic legs, and it was a picture, and he had his driver's suit pulled up so you could see his prosthetic legs, and it just said, "Your excuses are invalid."
Love that. In other news, things I hate.
And I found this just.
I know. I'm so mad. So the Ford ST brand has completely jumped the shark. Remember how much I hated the Edge ST?
We all hated it.
Yes. 2020 Ford just announced via, I think it's Twitter, the 2020 Explorer ST. Yes. What you need now is just a bigger, fatter SUV that's not going to be sporty and put an ST badge on it. This is too stupid for words. Chris.
Well, it's the monkey see, monkey do thing. They see AMG do it on everything. Like you get your AMG, actually the G-Wagon, they sell more AMG G-Wagons than non-AMG G-Wagons. Because at that point, all you're doing is swinging your
throwing money at
exactly,
it.
Right.
I thought you were going to say you're swinging your,
That's what I meant.
But if you drive one, you have one that's so tiny you can't swing it. So
don't forget the X5M too.
Yeah.
There it is. Yes.
Yep.
Terrible.
So
all right. So more stupid money for stupid cars. Poll question: what's worse? A couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a month ago, there was a $500,000 3000 GT VR4 that was for sale, and it made all the Twitter sphere. And then the first Supra sold at Barrett Jackson, thank you, for $2.1 million. So the owner of the VR4 reposted his Mitsubishi for sale for $1 billion.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you for doing the mental. This is stupid.
It's the VR4 is worse because the Supra, all the money went to charity, and that was one of the things that increased the bidding, so that somebody could put this in there. But really, they get a good feel good, and they get a tax write off for donating that money to charity. The VR4 guy is just a tool.
Yes. Well, I think he knows.
Good, actually.
I think he knows it's a joke. That's all I can think. He can't actually think that car is worth $1 billion. I mean,
no, well, if he was ludicrous enough to buy a 3000 GT, I think it was a good idea.
And save it, because it's beautiful. It's like the best one available in the world, which makes it from like totally sucky to like only somewhat sucky.
That car was so cool.
It was when it was brand new, and then then about 12 minutes later, then one of the active aero steering turbos broke, and that was it.
What is that?
They had that.
I know.
It was like a DSM that's not going to run ever. Like at least a DSM, you could like hit it with a hammer and get it sort of home.
Maybe.
I guess.
I'll give a free plug to the Auto Off Topic podcast because I've become a Mitsubishi sports car apologist.
and which one? Everyone raise your hand if you owned one.
What?
A Mitsubishi sports car. I'm raising my hand.
He's a rally guy. You know he started off in DSMs. That's just mean. Why you make him admit it?
Oh dear.
Chris, you got a story?
Oh, I do. You have a whole lot of pictures here. You're taking up like.
I
actually I threw that in just to annoy Jeff.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
you remember that bit from the first Fast and Furious where he goes, "More than you can afford, pal." Ferrari.
Yes,
the Fortune Supra is now. Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So I wasn't sure where this belongs, so I'm going to put it here. There's another group that we have forgotten about on the East Coast that does track days and HPDs, and that is called Track Days, DAZE. They do not sponsor us, but this is just an FYI. They're holding a lot of track times when we're not racing. A bunch of the other NASAs are when we are racing. So they're at awesome tracks like VIR, Shenandoah, what? What? I know. And Summit, Maine, and a whole bunch more of VIR. So their schedule is trackdays.com. First one's coming March 25th and 26th at VIR. So just thought you might want to know that.
That is a delightful thing. Also, folks that are going to racetracks you'd always want to know about. Extreme Experience will put you in the driver's seat of some of the world's best supercars at over 20 racetracks in America and Canada with no speed limits, no shifting restrictions, and no governors. Their 2019 traveling schedule is up, and you can head over to xxspeed.com and check out their schedule. They've got new experiences this year at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Phoenix, Streets of Willow, Texas Motor Speedway, Road America, Poconos. Are you kidding me? Poconos, folks. Utah Motorsports Campus, in addition to their standards like Audubon, Atlanta Motorsports Park, and my favorite track, hi, Connie, how you doing? Hallett. 7 models of exotic cars and supercars to choose from, including the new for this year, Challenger Hellcat wide body. And if you go over to XX Speed or you follow them on social media, you'll see that they've gotten all new die-cast models of all the cars on their lineup, including that Hellcat wide body. The famous year-round location in New Orleans, Louisiana, with their 3,200-foot straightaway. Professional instructors like Jeff, Chris, or me this next weekend at Wild Horse Pass in Phoenix and the streets of Willow Springs in California the following weekend in the car with you, helping you explore the car's limits and learn to drive the racing line. If you enter the code EVERYONERACERS, that's EVERYONERACERS, all one word, you will get 25% off when you book at extremexxspeed.com. Extreme Experience, it's your turn.
You know, I was thinking, it's a segue there. They should get some old school supercars that people are really into, like a Supra or stuff like that. I bet that would be more popular than some of the other crap they have. Which is not crap, I mean.
It's not crap, but
no one wants to drive the Gallardo.
You just called.
Sorry.
No.
Actually, they've gotten rid of the Gallardos. They are Gallardo free. They've got like 4 Huracans, and
those
they've
are
got
much better.
for a brief period they had one of the 2-wheel drive Huracans.
That's cool. The Huracans actually really impressed me, but the Gallardo, man, that car was so lame. I know. Anyway,
crap.
So, hey, obviously we're big fans of Lucky Dog Racing. Check out their 2019 schedule, including a True 24 at Button Willow in February 23rd and 24th. As of Monday, they were almost full up. 60 cars is their limit, so they have plenty of room to race. You can also do a 12 hours if you get tired or you're a pansy. Or if you're just local and want to come help out, they're always looking for volunteers, and they pay you and give you like booze, and Kathy's really supports her volunteers really well. So they're also going to be at Portland International, The Ridge, Willow Springs, Utah Motorsports Campus, Pacific Raceway, Oregon Raceway Park, Thunderhill, and we would love to scam our way into the Streets of Ensenada event in Mexico, where during the race you can stop and buy a taco from your race car. The hard part is eating it in your helmet. So make plans to
Just
attend
gotta shove it under the.
That doesn't make a mess at all.
Well, that's why I think the burrito might be easier.
Churro,
right?
Churros.
Churros.
That's when you don't wear your head sock. You just don't.
That's true. Good point. So, hey, think about going to Dogstock Jamboree at Shasta Lake or Flocktoberfest in October, and watch out for DC Doug there. Either way, head over to Lucky Dog Racing, take advantage of their full calendar of events, and actually sign up for one. They've got a good active Facebook page. If you want to arrive and drive, ask around. It's a great community. So, give them some attention.
So this is Jeff, and I'm talking directly to you in Radio Land. Are you tired of your favorite podcast being interrupted by cheesy commercials that we just traded out for stuff? Well, if you have a motorsports business and you're going to actually pay us to do a commercial, it might actually reduce the number of commercials that you need to listen to.
That would be great.
So if you want an ad on a podcast with a bigger listener base, bigger than the population of Allenwood, New Jersey, then we are your marketing solution. Reach out to us at everyone.racers@gmail.com, and we'll talk about you instead.
And we promise we'll read the copy better than Jeff just read that plug, so no worries there.
It's all right, he made it up.
That's okay.
Do it live!
That's right.
Who needs copy?
You know who else does it live? Chrissy's mom. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi,
Chrissy's mom.
So, it's time for Listener Feedback! You know, and if we actually had a sponsor, we might get some fancy transition
than
things.
Yelling.
As opposed to just yelling, right? So, hey, Ted Fort via Facebook said, I've listened to every episode within a couple weeks, and now I can't feel my face anymore. Mostly because he's probably been smashing it into something, trying to make it stop. He's still angry that we never did a Mrs. Puff's boating school theme with the boat.
We are
I
too.
agree. Yeah. So otherwise, great show. Perfect. 7 of 5. Thanks, Ted.
Oh.
Well, we know Ted makes poor choices. He's on Idle Clatter, so they're obviously not right in the head. So.
Poor choices, but great beer.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Very poorly done, gentlemen. Very poorly done.
Fun
Yes.
people. Okay,
Excellent.
so with regards to our previous episode, Len White commented, "I love the story about Johann Schwartz refueling guy." This is when we said that they threw the guy out. They didn't know who he was because if he died, then they didn't want to need to know him. So I was talking to one of my new to Portland International Raceway drivers on the trunk of my car last summer when a guy walks up and asks if he can listen since he's never been on the track before. Sure, why not? Next morning, Kathy announces a celebrity driver, Johan, who will be driving in the Pirelli World Challenge at PIR in 2 weeks. Sure enough, it's the guy who listened through my track map walk. All I can think of was crap. I hope I didn't say anything stupid. Thanks, Len. We love Johan too.
I actually think Johan listened to our track map discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he kind of like wander up when we were talking about the track map?
And everything else, like how did you get into racing and what do you do? And then we talked about him, and he's just the best.
Super nice guy. Yep.
Yep.
And he's
All right.
on this coast. We should get his name and see if we can get him out to a Lemons race. Anyway, it is main topic time.
So, folks,
So,
you may not have umlauts in your name, like all of the Jorgen, Borgen, Flurgen, Sturgenbergens, or half the cast of True Blood. But you can do Rally too. And to prove it, we have Santiago Daniel Iglesias, and he is here to talk to us about Rally. Now, I did move this segment up because you posted this YouTube video of Samir, you're breaking the car.
You must listen to me.
Which we're going to put in the show notes because I love that video.
It's so good. So good.
Basically real life. Surprisingly
Is that what
accurate.
you say?
So, Santiago, before we go into giving you the 20 questions bit, I'm going to take this whole, actually highly informative, link-filled bit that you put in there. But please tell us about entry-level grassroots rally.
Sure. So, Rally, I copied this from Wikipedia. It takes place on public or private roads with modified production cars, and we're going point to point. Enclosed roads, but through many sets of start and finish controls, and we're timed. So what Jeff's talked about previously, where you're trying to hit an average speed, that's called time speed distance, TSD rally. And when you're going flat out, it's called performance rally, which is what I do.
Correct.
And I guarantee that I have never, ever gone flat out on a dirt TSD rally.
When you miss the last two and you need to make it up, and you're like 10 minutes, you're 9 minutes behind. You can take a 10-minute TA. That's when you're flat out.
That's when you're flat out.
Yeah.
Yes. It dunked my car through a rather big water hole and lost 9 minutes and made it up. I told my brother, I won't hit a tree as long as you make sure I don't miss a turn.
There you go. So
Yeah.
the directions you get in the TSD are basically like the old school directions, and that's what we get for in between. But modern rally, we use the fancy cryptic left 6, right 2 over crest, caution, brake, all that kind of stuff.
And it's just written down, like you have a list. Is it like a line item type thing?
Yeah, so I just got my book right before the show, which is why I was a little late. Tomorrow morning we start our Recce Pass, which for the rallies in the U.S. we get this giant thick book full of all our stage notes. That those are computer generated. They drive a truck down the middle of the road with a little sensor on the steering wheel, and it spits out how tight the corner is, and then we get one pass through at 35 miles an hour to try to make any changes we want.
To basically improve the computer generated notes, right?
Yeah. Sometimes they add in a lot of unnecessary information or miss, like big rocks, don't cut, things like that.
Yump.
So I want to point out two things. One, when he said about this thick, now you guys all know we do this from locations, but we do this on video. He held his fingers up, and that's about 2 inches that he held them apart. So this is a thick book. And I'd also like to thank you, and I'm going to do it again at the end of the show, because he climbed in that awesome Buick Roadmaster and had to drive someplace where he had internet signal so he could do this show for us. So this is really awesome. We're really excited about this. Please continue.
Absolutely.
And before we go on, just you said in America the pace notes are done that way. Different in Europe, right? How do the pace notes how does this differ than what I'm watching on like the WRC?
I love WRC. I've got WRC Plus, and I watch it all the time. I'm kind of sad. This weekend is also Rally Monte Carlo.
Yes,
Oh,
that's like the big
stage.
one. I know. But it's better to do than to watch. You know that.
Yeah. So they just have like tons of these blank books, and they're just they get as many passes as they want. Basically, they're like doing it for 3-4 days, going through all these and really trying to get it perfect. A lot of other places, they'll get 2 passes, so they got 1 pass to generate it, 1 pass to fine tune it, and then they got to go. But that also takes longer, so it's kind of a trade-off.
Excellent. So how did you get started in all this? Really? Like, you just one day said, I'm going to go do that and just start driving your Mazda 6 down there, or what?
So originally, I graduated college, got a job just about when the FRS came out. So I bought that as my first new car. Loved driving it. Pretty much as soon as the break-in period was done, I started autocrossing. Then somebody at my local autocross was pimping out their local rallycross program. This was in the TVR region down in Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm like, well, that looks pretty fun. I'll give that a try. And then I basically stopped autocrossing because rallycross was way more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more things that are
Autocross
fun.
is a gateway drug, really.
Totally.
So,
Totally is.
yeah.
And I would think like rallycross is kind of the cocaine on your way to heroin, because I've done some rallycross and it's great because you're doing it right if your car is never pointed straight.
Yeah, it's just got to be just sideways enough where you're not spinning out, but you're really booking it through.
And I heard I'm modifying a quote that I read years ago in a sports car magazine, but it was a guy had done this and it reminded him that cars are like the person you date in high school. They're best when they're being bad.
Okay. Story with tequila for that one.
Okay.
Live update. I'm receiving text messages from a broken down Greg Smith on the Garden State Plaza on the way to the death race in Atlantic City, which we probably should plug at one point. So go on with the show without me. If you get to my notes, just keep going while I try and figure out what's going on.
Oh, no.
This is the 3 p.m. reality bus tour here. So. Okay.
Please.
Well,
but yeah, so Santiago, so you're doing this down in Alabama. Please continue.
So my first actual wheel-to-wheel racing was a Lemons race. I got the bug to hop on the forums, find a team that needed a driver for a reasonable price, and that turned out to be NSF.
Oh, poor choice.
It was
fantastic.
Or a great choice. I'm going to admit, yeah. I'm a little shocked.
Depends on how much of a fan of Scotch you are, but
the Sunday was a little rough.
Yeah. Chris, you might remember that race because that was when we blew up the Datsun.
This was South Fall 2013, I think.
Okay.
Down in CMP.
Yeah, we may or may not have been there. I don't know. All my CMP races have been hella broken.
What year was it?
2013.
We still had the boat then.
Yeah.
This was the fall race when he brought down the Z4 Coupe.
Well, he said he was in the Cordia, so I remember the Cordia. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Kind of Cordia.
Yeah.
That was when we woke up to the sound of Sasha beating on his Datsun with a hammer.
That's about right.
That's every race. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, that gave me a real big itch because that was just so much fun. And they said that was the first race that they hadn't blown the motor, so I felt pretty good about that.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Ta-da!
So from there, I saw that Team O'Neill Rally School up in New Hampshire had a crazy 25% off Black Friday sale. So I said screw it and booked myself a week class. And
Wow, that's the big class there. That's fun. I was up there for a winter driving school once in my stock 86 CRX on all-season tires, and everyone else there was in a Subaru on snows.
That'll do it.
But I kept up okay. Hell yeah. But they had quite a facility up there.
He didn't do it in his. He didn't do it as an intro, but because this is a rally episode, every time someone says the word Subaru, we all have to say,
Boring.
Oh, I was going to get to that with the entry
perfect.
list.
Excellent. Well, keep going.
Yeah, so after that, which was a crap ton of fun, even though we slightly hit a tree. So by the fifth day, they're basically just letting us loose with an instructor with notes we've written ourselves, running their roads at pace. And it was only two of us for the last day. So I was in the back seat. I picked an E30 because rear-wheel drive for life. And the other guy picked unrestricted turbo WRX.
Oh, God.
So we hit a tree.
Oh.
The E30 or the WRX hit the tree?
The other driver.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So then it was just you.
It actually, once they pulled it out, it drove.
Yeah.
I freely admit that when you said you were rallying a BRZ, I was like, oh yeah, that's like an extra set of balls. That's like, hi, I'm cool, and I'm cool.
My first car was actually my first car was a rear wheel drive as well. I'm hoping to be able to continue this trend.
Awesome.
Yeah. No,
I bought an E30, a junky E36.
Aren't they all?
This one it already had a junkyard motor, almost 200,000 miles. All the suspension was worn out. Originally, I was going to pull the motor to stick it in a shell I got from NSF because I had some bad ideas. I thought
if you use the word NSF, bad ideas are implied. It just Yeah,
for some reason I thought getting a caged car and then putting a motor in myself would be the easier way to do
it. We've heard this from other people. This is not this is a common error.
Yeah, a cage shop will do it very easily. So once I figured out that was a terrible idea, it's let's rally the E36. So I did pretty much everything but the cage. Sent that to a professional because I'm going to be driving through trees.
Mm-hmm.
Good choice.
Mainly have the big Bilstein stalkers, the Bilstein heavy duties, and big ass skid plate, and that was about it other than safety stuff. Ton of fun.
What that actually begs a question. What is the minimum prep that you're going to need? If you're a low budget, you just want to get into a performance rally. Let's say you live in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and you're only going to do one a year. What?
Probably
cage.
Buy a car that's already done.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously you need a cage. But how much suspension do you really need? How much?
It's as fast as you want to drive, really. Because with the Bilsteins, I would have to back off on the really rough stuff, just because the car felt like it was shaking itself apart. Now this car has actual motorsports struts, and I can just go flat out everywhere. But I never broke. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but I pretty much never broke my suspension. It shook itself apart one time. That was
all right. That's a Buick. That's a Buick Roadmaster. Roll down the window. Knock on the wood.
Right, especially you got a race going. You don't want to. Don't jinx yourself.
Not
now.
real wood,
tomorrow, brother.
That's a sticker.
Oh, there we go. It's close enough. It's no more fake than the stuff on the dash, so it's okay.
The point is, he acknowledged that to the gods. He will do well tomorrow now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. sold that, then bought this BRZ that's got about a 3.5-inch suspension. All the suspension strut tops are raised all the way around, and big beefy suspension. Motor is pretty stock with just an oil cooler. Really, it's like gearing and suspension are what make you faster.
And
Okay.
balls.
Yeah.
right.
Driver training obviously is always necessary.
Oh yeah, if I hadn't done that, I would have been like suffering through a bunch of DNFs or something, and just like flailing around trying to figure out what to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
At the O'Neill Rally School, did they teach you like how to actually be a rally? Like, did they teach you anything about car prep, or was it just learning how to drive?
First couple of days were just driving, but there at the end, towards the end, there was some
Like
walk through
team
their
management.
shop, look at the car prep, some other stuff like here's how a time card works, because we have these sheets of paper with we hand them to the workers at each start and finish of the stages. They write our times, and once we finish a stage, they give us X amount of minutes that we have to enter the next one. So there's math involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Math.
Hmm.
Math.
I'm at TSD rally, so that doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
Mental doesn't do math.
So, can you do this on your own, or is it really almost impossible? And like,
You need
who
at
else
least
do you
two
need? Okay. And how do you sucker other people to do this when you're the one driving? Because you seems like you've got the best spot. Everyone else is just going along for the ride, saying, Samir, you were breaking the car. And then there's the guy who has to fix the car that Samir broke when you come in. So like, what do you do for
True,
that? How's the
but
support?
Usually the driver is footing the bill.
Hmm.
Co-drivers can spend a lot less and be in faster cars, and they still get the thrill of going fast. And really, in rally, the co-driver's driving the car, because if he tells me it's a left 5, I'm going to turn left. If there's something there, it's his fault or her fault.
Got it.
Yes. Your only question is allowed to be, are you sure?
No, that's not allowed in performance
There's
rally.
not
That's
enough time,
it's
really.
not.
That's
if
allowed
it's
in
not
TSD.
speed, he's moving. He ain't got
There's
speed
no
to say, are
time.
you sure? Yeah.
That's true.
Excellent.
Okay. Does your co-driver ever get sick?
And this guy, I haven't had one. I've seen stories of people getting sick.
I mean, I get sick just I'm just watching the video.
Some
Oh,
people take like Dramamine and stuff.
Then
Some
I
people
sleep.
Ginger
puke out the
pills.
side of the car.
5. I'm sleeping because Dramamine. Mental, turn your mic off.
No.
You're echoing, Michael.
Turn it off.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, anyway, so I guess my question was already kind of answered. So Hefe, go ahead.
I wanted to performance rally before I ever even lemons. That was my desired sport. I was a DSM driver, as we mentioned, and I watched WRC. I went to the STPR a few times. I was in the SCCA. This was like my path until someone won a terrible East German car and we decided to take it to lemons.
Here you go.
So like, how many rallies really are there these days? Like, who's running it? Who's the big organization? Like, like you could lemons or endurance race with like 12 different organizations across the United States. Like, who's really running performance rally, and what is the state of performance rally in America, I guess?
As of 2019, there's only 2 organizations. NASA runs a few like smaller ones. Doesn't really seem like the main NASA really cares about NASA Rally Sport. Then the big group is American Rally Association that started in 2016 because people got frustrated with the management of Rally America.
All right. So Rally America kind of took over for the SCCA when they got rid of it, and they got rid of it for insurance reasons. I was involved back then, and they tried to give it to NASA. NASA didn't want it. They kind of formed Rally America as a little separate body. So they until recently were still running it.
Yeah, they were still sanctioning events, though the new organization's tied up with ESAC, so that I guess that gives it a little more legitimacy.
Sure. And all the big what are the big rallies? What are the big events? Obviously, we talked about the Snowdrift. I mentioned Susquehannock Trail or Performance Rally, STPR, which happens up in the northern part of Pennsylvania, and is basically the only one that I know of that's like on this side of the Mississippi. So
I'm back. Hello?
Oh, did we miss you? You're still here?
Yeah, we still got you.
Sorry, you might have missed my question. My question is, what are the events? Like, how many events a year are they running? Where are they? We already mentioned the Snowdrift and the STPR. I'm just trying to think. There used to be a couple in Monticello, New York. There used to be 100 Acre Woods. There used to be a couple things in Michigan.
100 Acre Woods still going. I just did the Northern Michigan one, Lake Superior Rally in October. That one's always a blast. They just last couple of years they added a finale stage through the streets of Houghton. It's only like a mile long, but it's a ton of fun.
Where's that? Where's Houghton? Sorry.
Up in the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, Upper Peninsula. Okay.
He's a Yooper, don't you know?
Ah, the Yoopers.
Yeah,
yes. So really, unless you're a Midwestern kind of person, there's probably not a lot around you.
There's a good amount in the Midwest. There's a ton of racers and rallies here. There's New England Forest Rally up in Maine. There's STPR. There's one or two small NASA ones in New York still. Let's see.
Like around Monticello. How about Oregon Trail? There used to be a couple on the West Coast.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 in that area now.
Watch out for those
another one
dysentery
right by Oregon Trail. So now there's 2 in Oregon and the one in Washington.
Excellent. No,
wheel yokes are very expensive. Always carry more of them.
Mensa, you got a question?
Well, now I lived in Colorado back in the day, and they were actually fairly good about rallycross and amateur rally. So is Colorado completely dropped off the planet as far as?
Actually, I think only like 2-3 years ago they restarted Rally Colorado. It's back now.
All right, excellent.
I think they've also got a pretty big like hill climb scene, so a lot of those cars do both of those.
And I was saying it was really active rallycross. Like you'd show up and the hardcore guys outnumbered the entry level guys because the hardcore guys were using it as test and tune for Rally Colorado, and there were actually parks that were devoted just to rallycross.
Wow.
And so I remember some of that stuff, and that was interesting to me. And I want to say on air, because I did it video wise, props to Chrissy, because that was just damn funny.
Yeah. It's a good question about rallycross. Like you mentioned that's how you started. Is that the gateway drug, or do you really need to go to school? Like O'Neill?
You can do a lot. Unfortunately, you can only go like second gear, which my car, 45, 50 for a lot of cars. The dynamics of the car are a little different at 80, and when you're using gravel tires and trying to get all the grip out of them.
So rallycross is not school.
No, school. When you have somebody sitting there and walking you through it is really helpful.
And if you do it the full out Team O'Neill, you get your competition license, right? You can't just walk in off the street with a rally car and say, "Here we go." You have to meet some kind of criteria.
Yeah, the classing's all messed up. Previously with Rally America, you had to do like 5 events before you could run a high power car, and Team O'Neill would cover like one of those basically. Now you can't. It's similar, except for the first time, they're allowing noobs to run turbo cars with just like a really tiny restrictor.
Well, that's actually a lot better, because it would suck back in the day to have to build or drive a Neon until you got your license, especially because, used WRXs are littering the streets, for
everyone wants to drive a blue Subaru.
Yeah, I mean, but
what? You had one of those? No, I was going to say you had one of those. It was just left your parents' driveway.
No,
recently.
it wasn't mine.
I know.
But that's the idea. Is the turbo all-wheel drive, the Evos and the WRXs became extremely popular as street cars in the United States. And if someone wanted to get into Rally America was like, and SCCA2 also was like, no, sorry, you can't. You have to do this many events, so you don't get to prep. Like, your first car has to be the car you don't want.
Or at the very least, rip the turbo off and run it naturally aspirated for a while.
That's actually not a bad idea. I didn't think
Which is probably still better. I mean, some people can come to rely on a high power car, and then you don't really learn to finesse all of it.
Yeah.
Which I don't care what motorsports you're into. That is a truth. That is biblical truth.
Absolutely. That's why you start on the track in a Miata or a Civic or something. You learn how to keep that momentum up and make the most of the traction on all four tires. Every car's a momentum car. Some just get it back faster than others.
Yeah. You same thing with motorcycles. You start with a 250, or dirt bikes, you start with a 125.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm in my class now is called limited two-wheel drive, which is just the less modifications allowed than open two-wheel drive, which is really wide open. Like, you can drop an LS crate motor in there and have all kinds of fancy suspension. At the end of the day, you're still limited by tires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are the tire limits? Just it's impossible to get traction in the dirt, or do they actually say
limits? Like
225s
maybe are the widest you can get gravel tires, and with that much power, you can melt them real easy if you're too aggressive on the throttle.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they do any tarmac events? Do you do any or do they just have no interest in it?
There's no more. There used to be like one in Tennessee, I think, and like one in New York, but I'm not sure why those ended. I think they just couldn't close the roads anymore.
Yeah, the Targa Newfoundland is like on my bucket list as an event, and I want to do it very badly, but. And they've really discovered that they can't really hold many street events in America. The two largest, performance sort of Targa events are happening in Mexico and Canada. So
yeah, if there's paved roads, there's usually people there, and then you got to talk to them to close them, and it's a whole big thing.
I mean, they paved Pikes Peak now.
Yeah.
So
and Mount Washington, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know about Mount Washington.
As of a couple years ago, there's still dirt on a fair amount of Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half of it.
Yep.
Awesome. Mental, you still have some questions in your notes there? I want to give you a moment before we...
So, you mentioned this while we were talking before the show. So you are an engineer. Do you want to pimp anything right now before I ask you the technical questions that are just going to embarrass me because I'm not very smart?
Yeah, and I'm my job now is I calibrate traction control and ABS systems, which is a ton of fun. I just got back from a trip to India testing ABS motorcycles.
Whoa,
that's fun.
Like, okay, because now I've seen driving in India, and I've got friends who live in India, and that is just sketchy. Just riding a motorcycle in India, it's got to be. So you'd be like 80 miles an hour tomorrow in a rally in Michigan. You'd be like, "Oh, this is great. No livestock, nobody asking me for money. This is wonderful."
I got a quick question. I must interrupt because I'm bursting with a question. Is there any way possible you can make the ABS work on my 2002 Chevy Avalanche that has not worked since the day I bought it?
No, Jeff, no. No one can.
He's a genius, not a miracle worker. Come on.
My company actually used to be part of GM, so they might have made that one. I'm not sure.
Oh, you say because GM.
Delphi?
Yeah, they used to be part of Delphi.
Excellent.
Yes, I replaced several Delphi parts on my...
I love my quadristeer still.
Every single one of them. Mental, I'm sorry, you had technical questions.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So, all right, you came at this... It seems like you've had your feet in both worlds coming all the way up. You started out autocrossing, and then you got into rallycross, and then you started doing this, and then you did some endurance racing. So talk to me about, if you would please, about your experience as a grassroots rally guy, and a grassroots endurance racer and how that mechanical experience, and clearly you have some not only training but some skill in this level and some enthusiasm. How has that helped you in either direction?
It definitely helped me get this job, because just forcing myself to learn how to wrench. Like when I bought that BMW, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I bought the Bentley manual and ended up replacing all the suspension and doing all kinds of engine work. Put cams in it, like just learned all this stuff doing hands-on that they don't necessarily teach mechanical engineers anymore.
No.
So it definitely helped me like stand out.
Excellent. That's awesome. So cool. I've been a rally fan in the same way that I'm kind of like one of those extreme sports fans, like the guys that do the crazy jumps on the motorcycles. There's maybe 3 sports in the world that I watch with enthusiasm that I look at and go, I never want to do that. Everything else, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to try that. And one of those is definitely like just this high-end rally stuff. So mechanically, there's got to be a massive strain on the car, even beyond, and I'm talking to my other co-host on here. Endurance racing is brutal. It will expose weaknesses that you didn't know your car has. It has to be even worse with what you do.
We do consider rally endurance racing.
Yes, it is. It is, except so much work, like CMP, except times 10, because then you've got like the truck tracks where they deliberately make the road ruddy so that you can get some traction when there's snow on the ground. And you've already mentioned that you are having your windshield wiper motor overnighted. And you are miles away from a flaps, which is a term that I learned on this show. But you are miles away from a flaps. So what is your preparation? What do you know is going to break? What spares do you bring? And what gets another pass with the welder so that it doesn't break?
All the control arms out of the car are boxed. So just taking a plate and going over the top and the bottom, welding them up to make them stronger so they can take a couple hits.
That makes sense.
And I've got spares of those, spare suspension struts, spare underbody. So I've got the main metal aluminum skid plate, and then under like the fuel tank and under a couple other things, I've got just plastic. So I've got spares of that because that unfortunately can get ripped off sometimes. It's a wear item.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Brakes, pads, rotors, all that. Alternator, extra tires.
So everything, basically.
Yes, you basically have a whole new car except for like the body and maybe cage.
Actually, I've got spare bumpers at home, but I didn't bring them.
Oh, okay.
Also, I don't have a spare radiator, which I'm hoping doesn't bite me.
Oh.
Ooh, reach outside, knock on the side of the car again.
Yeah. It's cold. It'll be all right. You'll find something that'll work.
It's all right.
You do enough 4M radiator swaps, and you really don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, I imagine, because again, you're talking. We made this joke a couple of weeks ago. So you're talking a lot of gravel, and I mean, just you're out there, and I use air quotes, by yourself, but there's still a lot of stuff flying around. So how often do you lose a radiator?
I lost one on my third race. This was with the BMW. It had been kind of rainy, so the ground was really soft, and I'm running towards the back of the field because I was still a newbie. So they start the cars every minute, and they order them fastest because you're not supposed to be overtaking people, even though it happens. So by the time I was going through, I'm just riding in the ruts. Like the bolts I had holding the skid plate, the heads started getting shaved off.
Yikes!
That's exciting.
That's kind of standard, though, isn't it? Right? I mean, that's just a sign of a good rally, right?
Yeah. So eventually, I guess a rock came up the side, hit the fan, punched the back of the radiator, and ended our night. We got towed back after the cars run through. There's a bunch of trucks. They're called the sweep trucks, so they come through and pull people out of the woods. And
we know all about those.
Yeah, they pulled us back to service, and we tried stop leak, which did not work.
It never
does.
worked. Never worked. Stop leak should be like our sponsor, so we could say, "Don't ever use this stuff."
So I got a text from a guy in an E30 who had a radiator that would fit. So we load the car up, drive to his cabin, which was like half an hour. And it's already like 1 a.m. Grab the radiator, drive another 45 minutes back to the town we're staying, because these are remote services. Like, this was up in the UP, so the main town, Houghton, where all the houses are that you can rent, the first service is like an hour away from that. So we had to go all the way back and then swapped it in the Walmart parking lot there. Got done about 5 a.m.
Been there.
Once we actually got there and got the car unloaded, it took me like half an hour. It was just all the driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yep.
Yes, we have, Chrissy.
After that, I wrapped
Yes,
it
we
in
have.
It didn't happen
1,000
again.
miles in somebody else's car, and we didn't even get on track. Oh, you got on track. I did not get on track.
I got 2 laps. Oh, I did in the Mustang. Thank you, Greg and company.
So after that, I wrapped the radiator in chicken wire, and that didn't happen anymore.
That's a good idea.
Ooh, that sounds like a tip we
Nice
might
tip.
want to adopt right there. Yeah.
We have chicken wire in front of the Civic's radiator, that big opening we have in there now, and there's currently a sizable divot in the chicken wire.
Might need to be
Something that
replaced.
stopped it, right?
Don't forget the backside, too, because stuff can still get bounced up.
Not with the giant splitter we have. It would be amazing if it made it through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But still,
I think we have
absolutely.
more underbody plate than probably you do. We have a lot of smoothing going on under there.
Oh well.
Some good arrow.
Great. I have a wrap-up question, but I want to give it to the field before I go there. Anyone? Last chance?
Now your wrap
Cool.
up
I
question.
got my last wrap-up question here. So let's say there's a listener out there who the bug has now bit them. They're listening to you and they're like, hell yeah, I got to do this.
Or say, I don't know, like a host who lives in Georgia. The bug is now bitten, and I got to do this. I'm just saying.
So the question is, what do they do? What's the way to do it? Is there a website? Is there a forum? Is there a way to volunteer? How do they dip their toe into this frigid, cold, muddy pond?
Volunteering is an amazing way to start. I've done a few volunteering because I got my ham radio license back in college, and they always need radio operators because they've got radios at the start and end of every stage.
Mental, you
That's
got anything about radios? Do you know anything about radios? Did you have any previous careers that had anything to do with radios? I'm working on my bingo card. Could you please explain that?
I'm sorry, what I missed totally.
Never
what you
mind.
just
Keep
said.
going.
I mean, yeah.
When you get back to your
Volunteering-
room and you open your bingo card, this will make a lot more sense.
I'm just waiting for a certain name drop as well.
He's got his card open.
Yep. All right.
So I volunteered at the Susquehannock Trail Pro Rally a few times as a corner worker, and I thought it was great fun. That you'll never forget what it's like to be in the middle of the woods, in the middle of the dark, and the glow that comes out of the woods before you hear the popping of the exhaust. I mean, these kids on the street think they know what BRAP is until they've been to a rally, and then they really learn what it is.
I have no idea.
None.
Go to Pikes Peak. You'll learn what BRAP really means.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even mention the night racing too. I've got big ass light bar on the front. It's really dark in the woods. It can get a little hairy. That's something I've been working on, is getting my confidence up at night to be able to go fast. You can only go as fast as you can see.
Yeah.
And if you have bad lights, you're not going to go fast.
Well, and the notes become even more important because you might not have a clue whether it's going left or right.
Yeah, and I think I need to upgrade because I've got this LED light bar on there that's pretty good, but as I'm getting faster, when you're hitting like 100 miles an hour, it's not quite thrown far enough.
Whoa!
What? No way.
Yeah.
I would like to once again mention that I have never gone over 100 miles an hour on a dirt road
No.
on a
In-
TSD rally
At
In
night.
the snow.
at night. Not in
No,
the snow.
I won't be going that fast in the snow. That'll be gravel.
Oh well, I
But-
was watching video last night of this morning about the snow rally where you are, and they were doing it in the snow, in the dark.
All right.
Yeah, there'll
I'm-
be some night stages.
I'm gonna throw this bone to Jeff, just so he has it, and then I'm gonna ask him what kind of car he gave his dad, so that maybe I get something.
No, it's okay.
So here's the deal. So when I was in the Air Force, I went faster than the speed of sound. That frightens me less than the idea of doing 100 miles an hour on gravel at night. Anyone who does this, anyone who might listen to this episode that found us through Google search or whatever, you have brass coated intestines of a military grade. Wow. I'm so glad we had you on this show. And I now have 3 sports that I love to watch and never want to do. And man, that is just cool.
Yeah,
There's people going much faster than me as well.
Don't say that. Tell them that you can tell everybody that you're the fastest, and we wouldn't
I'm
know.
knocking on the podiums. If I can put a good finish together, I'll be on the podium. But I'm in the slowest class. There's still turbo 4-wheel drive cars out there, and they're really booking it.
Crazy.
Wow.
That's just a matter of time, friend, until you get the career funding that allows you to do that kind of nonsense.
I don't know. 4-wheel drive just seems not as interesting. Like there's a guy, Eric Potts Racing out of New England that ran the whole season last year with a supercharged BRZ, just ripping up and like going for top overall 2-wheel drive.
It's a little extra degree of difficulty, that's for sure. So I applaud that.
yeah.
Excellent.
Seriously, dude, this has been awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so glad we did this.
If Mental is saying that he is reinterested, this is like I just got the taste of. No, I don't want to say that. I was gonna make a heroin reference. This is like visiting my cookie dealer again.
Who incidentally is Chrissy. Chrissy is his cookie dealer.
No. She's more than one. I have more than one. I loved rally. I miss rallying so bad. The one high-speed TSD that we used to do ended many years ago. All of my all-wheel drive cars are gone. And there is just something about the woods. You know, the speeds might not be as high, but when you're working with a rally partner, and that's something that's very different. In the race, it is you and only you, while rally is much more of a team sport because the communication between you and your co-driver is tremendously important. Chris and Chrissy co-drove for each other. My brother was my navigator. I was his navigator for years and years and years, and we talked about, you know, I just say this politely, the fights that can happen, the trust level that needs to be built. I mean, it's a terrible thing to take your wife to. You know, if you're like, oh, it'd be great, you know, like I'll send my wife to rally school and then she can be my co-driver. That's a mistake. All right. So
Yeah, it's all about trust.
Yeah.
I think we won a couple times, so we obviously figured it out how to do it.
We weren't barreling through the woods at 100 miles an hour. So.
No, I wasn't 100, but this makes me
Chrissy,
think
you're
of
going to break the car. Chrissy, you're going to break the car.
I beg of you, please listen
Samir,
to me.
you must listen to me.
Listen to me.
I might have done that once.
All right.
Almost.
So, and the equivalent of that is usually they'll mark the spectator areas in the notes, like the designated spectator spots they tell everyone to go to. And a lot of co-drivers will erase those because they know their drivers like to showboat. And that's when you crash.
No one wants to play that game.
Oh, and on the crashing note,
So
this
it's
is great.
So it's kind of like a marriage. The co-driver is really the smarter one.
Yeah, they're in charge. Like I'm in the flow. I am taking input from my eyes and my ears, and I'm driving the car, and I'm going to do what I have with the information I have.
So, quick question: since we're on co-drivers, do you have a standard co-driver, or do you move around a little?
Kind of move around depending on people's situations. I've had the same guy. This will be the third event with this guy who originally started out as my crew chief, which means I had to designate another crew chief. Unfortunately, this is what happens.
Yeah, give him a shout out. What's his name? How do you know him?
Seriously,
his name's RJ. He's actually a student at Michigan Tech. Who, when I was going up there to Houghton the first time, I desperately posted on Facebook, like, "Hey, can anyone crew for us?" Because I had no crew. Him and some other students volunteered, and he's been my crew chief ever since then, since 2016. And now he's hopping in the right seat.
Cool.
Well, good for
Good
RJ
luck.
because A, it's very important, and B, take your Dramamine, dude, because that's gonna be a wild
ginger
ride.
pills,
yeah.
RJ, and honestly, God bless you, RJ, because you're keeping an awesome sport alive.
Totally. All right.
So I guess I'll finish it up with the. You can find the entry list online for Snowdrift. As of yesterday, there were 35 entries, 15 Subarus,
Boring.
4 Fiestas,
I like what?
kind of
Which I'm
boring.
told is also
Kinda boring.
boring.
Yeah, how is that boring?
They're all they're like the go-to easy 2-wheel drive.
They're like the
It's all the
Miata.
modern body Fiestas. 4 VWs, only 1 BMW, 1 RX-7,
Also boring.
1 Hyundai Tiburon,
Nice.
Whoa.
1 Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm excited for that.
Absolutely.
I guarantee that team is out of New England. There's no way that the Jeep Cherokee team is not out of New England.
Actually, I wanted to mention that one of the STPRs I went to, Hyundai Tiburon, pro level Hyundai Tiburon, won the event overall.
Whoa.
So it was a factory backed pro level.
I think it might be that car that they dug out of storage.
I can't imagine that many people are prepping Hyundai Tiburons.
Yeah, right.
Where do you even find one of them?
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Oh, just your local meth dealers
Okay.
probably got
Yeah.
one.
These sketchy buy here, pay here, they usually have a supply.
Yeah. So also plug your team, because if we're logging on, we need to know who you are. What's your team name? What's your team number? Car number.
My team is Escudería Boricua Rally.
Say that again.
Escudería Boricua, Team Puerto Rico.
Yeah, got it.
And we're car number 305. 'cause
305.
I grew up in Miami.
There you go. Awesome.
Are you running any video?
Yeah, hopefully I'll get my GoPro. I usually forget to charge them overnight. So I'll have at least some stage videos.
Hey, actually, we can give you a tip. They never are going to last, but you can buy those extremely large battery packs. Cut
The
a
USB
hole
plugs.
into your
Yep.
the USB plugs, the USB battery packs, like you would use to charge
yeah.
your phone. Put them right in the car, like tie wrap them right next to your mount. We have the GoPros. We literally turn them on in the morning and leave them run all day.
Which makes for hilarious video, like at lunch or during Jesus hour. Yeah, this is all funny.
With the hood up.
Or
Yep.
or when the hood's up and we're working on it, it's like 1 hour of staring at the lovely holes cut in the hood.
I've had a few of those where when the car breaks, you just see the hood fly up.
Oh
Mark
yeah.
the video back off.
But now that we've talked about all this, I would love to see some video. So
Yeah,
once you get it,
I've got a few on my YouTube channel.
Oh God!
plug that.
Pete's sake, yes, send us a link to your YouTube channel because this just sounds awesome.
Your views
I-
are guaranteed to spike by like 4.
I still haven't figured out a good
Maybe
way to
like
record the
6.
in-car intercom. So
yeah,
it's like engine noise and driving down a road.
that's
Mhm.
okay.
You might want to listen to next week's episode.
Seriously.
Ooh.
And we'll talk
Doesn't
about
help
that.
you now, but
It doesn't help you now, but we're going to talk about that as we come up there.
Well,
So-
you know how GoPros are terrible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
the worst battery life. I got a couple from Micro Centers, like chain they've got up here. These like knockoff GoPros, but the battery lasts like 10 times longer. So that's what I've been using for all my video, and I can usually use them for most of a whole day.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, we run all weekend long on the same external battery packs. So our GoPro's battery life has not been a problem. We have other problems, like not being able to remembering to turn them on.
We have lots of
remember to turn them
problems,
off.
but yeah.
Yeah. Forgetting to put them on. There was a request in the Facebook for the Money Shift video from Laguna. And I was like, what, you think we had time to put in a GoPro?
No.
So before we move on to, I believe this is an on the spot.
It is on the spot. Yes.
So this is the deal. Santiago emailed us last year, like in the summer, and said, "Hey, you guys should do an episode on Grassroots Rally." And we kind of had our calendar forecasted, and I got a hold of him just before the holidays and said, "Let's do it this time." He had everything set up while he's prepping his rally car for this event. It didn't work. He had to get into his tow pig and drive a number of miles away in order to get proper cell reception. And this episode has been far. And I had pretty high hopes of this episode because I was pimping it to everybody. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I had pretty high hopes of this episode. And I'm going to go with it's been better than I thought it would be. So seriously, Santiago, thank you so much for every bit of effort that you put into this. I think you might have hooked a couple of us on wanting to dip our toes into this. I hope our listeners feel the same. What social media do you have to pimp? Because we're going to throw this live rally feed on there. I'm actually itching to watch it. But what else have you got on there? You got a Facebook, you got an Instagram, you got all this stuff. Give it all to us.
Facebook page is Escudería Boricua Rally.
I'm not going to know how to spell that.
Email it to me later. We'll take care of you.
Will do. Instagram is at Escudería Boricua. Twitter is at Rally Santi.
Yeah,
I think that's
all of my
YouTube
wife's relatives who listen to this show are going, "Why do you not understand this, white boy? Why can't you understand what he's telling you?"
Trying to find it.
Okay.
We're going to throw everything up there, and you can count on it. Literally twos of followers that are going to jump on all of your extra social media. But I really appreciate the effort you made to being on the show.
Yeah, it's been great. And
Okay.
hopefully we'll see you at a Lemons event.
Yeah, and thank you all so much as well. I'm
All right, well-
hoping I can hit one of the Gingerman races because I think that's my closest one.
Gingerman
Yeah.
is such a great track. It is such an underrated track. I've been there twice. I love it. And honestly, take your rally car, go out there for a grid life event. You'll have a blast.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, the only thing that scared me about that was the entry fees, and I'd have to buy like street tires. I have so many tires. Like I got like 10 gravel tires. I've got like ice tires, snow tires, different snow tires.
Yeah.
Go,
Snow tires
go,
for the daily, snow tires for my girlfriend's daily. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go to
Guba
a-
Gaba, you are one of us.
Yeah.
go to a tire shop and tell them that you'll take a sticker, put it on your car, and have them give you whatever was already down to the wear markers. Take it to Grid Life. You'll have a blast.
Wait, do you still have a street-driven BRZ?
no, I sold that. I sold that to get the money to buy the race car.
Got it.
Yeah. Mhm.
I-
Necessary.
He doesn't
Really
need a
Roadmaster.
BRZ. He's got a Roadmaster. Roadmasters rule all.
Got it. So yeah, don't go anywhere because we are definitely going to ask you your opinion on the spot question. But it comes with a slightly embarrassing story. But before I get to that, I want to mention that I have heard from the plumber part of our race team. Greg has rechecked in. He broke down on the Garden State Parkway in his RV, his giant diesel pusher RV.
He's bringing
And I
that
will
to
give-
AC? Why is
Yeah,
he bringing
where
that
is
to
he
Oh no,
doing
AC?
it?
actually, I have no idea. He said he ran out of diesel.
They're usually
I
bringing
assumed it was-
Bruce's.
No, they're-
Usually
uh,
Bruce's
probably
truck.
his pickup. It's
Bruce's
his pickup
truck.
yes.
Yeah.
Bruce's truck. So yeah, they forgot to fill it up, I guess, or underestimated the drag of the trailer and were very close. They were within like 20 miles of Atlantic City when they ran out of fuel.
Did not have an E.
I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know. So anyway, here's the story on the spot. Question comes at the end. We're going to go around and we're going to find out what you all think. But first, embarrassing story. As we know, I work at a college. I drive a Mazda 3 long roof. It is a 2012. I have recently removed my roof racks, and I have gone over to the winter tires. So now it looks like a completely pedestrian Mazda 3.
Like mine.
Except for the E1R sticker.
Except for the E1R sticker, but that's on the back. And who looks at the back? So I'm walking to my car the other day, and I push the button. I open the door. I sit down, and it seems that my seat has moved forward several inches. And I'm like, the frick did my seat move? And then I look where my radar detector usually sits under my rearview mirror, and it has a extremely girly dream catcher hanging off it. And I realize I'm in the wrong Mazda 3.
You could check the someone breaks with laughter on your bingo card now.
Mental has disappeared.
Yeah.
Did he walk away? Did he fall?
Yeah, he fell down.
So I'm sitting in this car. So I immediately jump out, and my car is parked 2 away. And I jump in my car, and I drive away at a high rate of speed.
Does everyone just leave their cars unlocked?
Apparently so.
I'm not the only one who broke. Chrissy went with me on that way because that's a great story.
It's like old GM keys. They only had about 6 of them to choose from. So
I don't know. Well, I don't think. I think it was just unlocked because from 4 cars away, I heard the little from the horn, but I didn't actually notice which car blinked.
What was it? The
So I guess the on the spot question, is Jeff an asshole? Is Jeff an idiot? Is Jeff stupid, or is this not his fault?
Oh,
I'll start. Yeah, that's just kind of dumb. And it's also your fault for owning a car that you can mistake for anyone else's. Like, none of the cars that I drive every day could be mistaken for anyone else because they are either too rare or too modified. There you go.
Well, mine
yours is slammed and it's usually got those RX-8 wheels on it. Like,
yeah, but right now it looks stock.
It's still lowered enough, you can tell.
All right, Chrissy, help me out.
I mean, it's a good story, and you're not an ass. Are you at fault? I mean, you didn't do anything. If you actually tried to like drive it, like if you tried to stuff the key in it, and like, why isn't this working?
I will mention it was a stick too, so it wasn't like.
So there's a girl with the same kind of car.
I assume it's girl. It had a girly decoration in it. I don't know if it was.
It's funny.
I mean, it probably was.
Yes.
So no harm, no foul from Chrissy.
No harm, no foul. Good story.
No, no harm, no foul, but you're just kind of dumb. That's all.
Yeah, mental.
I'm gonna go. Add me to the no harm, no foul. She's a hardworking New Jersey college student. She's thinking, oh, it's a stick shift. I could leave this shit with the keys in it. Nobody's gonna drive away.
That's true. This isn't the faculty lot, so it probably was another staff member or faculty member.
Yeah,
it was late at night, so it could have been a student too.
So the battery in my Volvo has been giving me fits over the last couple of days, and I've been leaving it running places. And when I come back outside, it's still there running because it's a stick shift, and no one's going to take a Volvo wagon A and then B. It's a stick shift. So no, I'm going to go with no harm, no foul. Mental tells a story that goes nowhere.
That's all right. Santiago, how do you think? What do you think?
I think you're a little dumb, and they're very dumb for leaving their car. Who leaves their car unlocked?
It's a stick shift in New Jersey. It's a stick shift. They're like, that's my anti-theft. It's a stick shift. Suck it. All right.
So I'm partially dumb.
Wait. Before you finish this up, it's a quick story, but it's a dumb story that goes nowhere. Mm-hmm. Check it off in your. Yeah. My good friend Darren had a Mercedes in Germany. And he bought it for $400. It was a stick shift 4-cylinder, 4-speed, not even a 5-speed. and it had this god awful Radio Shack stereo in it from like 1982 with what we called the distorter. And it was a Radio Shack amplifier that if you push the power button, all it did was make the music unhearable because no matter what you did on the graphic equalizer. So one day he comes out to his car and he's halfway to work and he realizes it's been broken into because they've gone through.
When you don't even know that your car has been broken into, you might be a redneck.
You're right.
Now.
They noticed that they reattached his amplifier and all the paperwork in the dash or in the glove compartment has been stacked and organized in the same thing in his center console. He almost expect to find a 20 mark German mark bill with a sticky note that said, "We're so sorry." And that's what makes me think,
keep this.
So you probably got in this girl's car and you probably straightened it up a little bit. You probably wiped it down.
It was way cleaner than mine.
That's what I was about to say. Is the only way Jeff knew it wasn't his is because it wasn't just littered with crap everywhere.
You make it sound like I drive a trash car. It's not that
bad. You're 1/3 of the way there.
Jeff, you drive a trash car. I love you. I would give you a kidney, but you drive a trash car.
It's not a trash
car.
All right, we're done abusing Jeff Menzel. Come on. It's just, okay.
You got in the car and you went, oh, these are my people. Let me make sure it's secure on my way out. So, yeah, no harm, no foul.
All right.
Okay.
Why don't you promote the next show? Somebody.
So, hey, next week we're talking audio and video. We touched on this last year, but we're having a long-time entry endurance racer and member of the newly crowned National Freaking Champions Tetanus Racing's Eric Maservi, I hope I didn't butcher your name too badly, to discuss a lot of lessons learned for audio and video setups over the years, some of the equipment they use, and some pitfalls to avoid setting yours up wrong like most of us. So 2 weeks in a row, we might actually learn something. We're not going to go for 3, don't worry. Weird. So try again next time.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you learned a little and laughed a lot. Thank you for downloading us.
Santiago,
thank you for joining us,
Santiago.
For coming on the show.
Thank you, guys. This was amazing.
Awesome. We hope you enjoyed this week's rally edition of Everyone Racers. We all hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a rally racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hate us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions, show ideas, or want to become a partner with us, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram or Twitter or anywhere else at Everyone Racers. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the dirty... Santiago, help me out here. What side of the rally car do you keep up? The side with the antenna, right? Keep the side with the antenna up. Or just keep those gravel wheels down.